This is the Shine On You Crazy Daisy podcast, and I'm your host, Trudy Simmons from the Daisy Chain Group, providing platforms and opportunities for businesswomen to be seen and heard. This platform is for the women entrepreneurs that want to hear the real stories of what it takes to be yourself and run a business with all the different hats that you might have to wear. Come and join the Shine On You Crazy Daisy membership, offering online networking, co-working, collaboration and monthly masterclasses for you to grow your knowledge. Go to thedaisychaingroup.com for more information. These are the platforms to hear and share the stories of the tenacious, the rebellious, and the resilient women that are working towards the future that they build for themselves and their families. Hello and welcome to the Shine On You Crazy Daisy podcast, and I am thrilled and excited to introduce you to Olivia Marocco from Brand You magazine. Olivia, thank you so much for being involved in Shine You Crazy Daisy Volume 4. Please tell us about your business.
Hi, Trudy. Yeah, thanks for having me on your podcast. And I'm super happy that I've written a chapter for your book. It's been a very interesting journey to condense a lifestyle into a chapter, and but it's been fascinating. So thank you for the opportunity. So yes, I'm Olivia, and I'm the founder and editor-in-chief of Brand You magazine, which is a brand new publication that came out last year. It's for female entrepreneurs. It's a magazine where every month we talk about anything to do with personal branding, business and lifestyle. And it's just basically there to bring support and advice and help and inspire women in business.
And it's beautiful. You say in your chapter that you're a free spirit. What does this mean to you?
Oh, interesting. So free spirit, I think it pretty much says what it says on the tin. But for me, it means that I've always felt from a very early age that I needed to be the creative director of my own life. And for that, I needed to felt free enough to be able to explore avenues and to explore my creative side in the way that I wanted, and not in the way that was expected or dictated to me. Yeah. So I've always needed that freedom, that internal freedom to make choices in the way that I conducted my business. I've always also been very intrigued and by the world, and I needed to have that freedom to be able to explore the world the way I saw fit. I needed to go and see other cultures. So free spirit for me really meant is to not be put into a fits-all kind of structure, but to make my own choices in life.
Which is the entrepreneurial way, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I think a lot of women will relate to that, I think. In that respect.
Well, sadly, another thing that we will all relate to is discrimination in the workplace, which is something that you talked about in your chapter. Yes. But what did that look like for you, and how did you deal with it?
Well, discrimination for me this was probably maybe like 15, 20 years ago when I first started my career, because before publishing a magazine, I've been a photographer for 20 years. And when I started in the international corporate world, all the photography and all the technical aspects of events were very male dominated. So when I first joined or came on the scene, I was always part of a very male dominated technical team. So the production, videographers, other photographers. And so the discrimination for me looked like not being accepted, not being taken seriously, being stared at like I was a piece of meat amongst all these men. And I really had to work hard to make a stand for myself, to prove that my work was just as good as another male photographer, and that I could deliver just as well, if not better, that my work would be consistent and that I would be able to prove that people can rely on me. So it looked in lots of very different ways, not being talked to. A lot of the times I had to create a team of other photographers because the event was quite big. And some of the team that I brought in were male photographers. They were friends of mine, and we would walk in, the client will come in and we'll go directly to my male colleague, thinking he was in charge, but no, I was in charge. So it looked like lots of little things like this. Being part of the team, not being invited to come and eat with them. And so it was a few years for me to really establish myself, and for all these male to look at me going, actually, she's good at what she's doing, and she's part of the team. So yeah, that was a hard few years to make a stand. And
there's so much in there, though, isn't there, about having to prove ourselves, or feel like we have to prove ourselves so much more to be seen and heard.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we all probably have to go through that, hopefully less now, but we still have to, we still have to go out there and prove that we can do it.
Yeah.
But on the positive side, what makes you a lot stronger. And I think had I started my career and everything was too easy for me, I probably would not have learned as much. So I think all these hard moments of feeling quite lonely in a room full of men, nobody talking to you, or like I said, just looking at you with really weird eyes, it just made you stronger, and it made me more of a warrior to just like, actually, you know what, I'm damn good at what I do, and I'm going to prove it to you all. And it worked. And a few years down the line, because when you work on events, you always tend to work with the same kind of production team, and when they saw that my clients kept asking me back, then I must have been doing something right. So all of that makes you stronger, and it's all about learning.
Well, and the journey brings you here to creating a labour of love in lockdown, as I call it, with Brand New Magazine. But had you thought about doing a magazine before? Because it was left of field.
It was completely left of field. No, I think I went through a midlife crisis, and something about reaching 50 that makes you think about where you want your life to go in the next sort of 20 years. And I knew that after 20 years of being a photographer, I was coming to the end of that journey, both creatively but also physically. I think you get a bit tired after a while. It was a very physical, demanding job. So I think I went through a process of trying to find something new, and my creative juices needed to go somewhere else. And the magazine came about through a mixture of opportunities, from networking, meeting lots of women who are business owners and entrepreneurs, meeting them, listening to their stories, and all of a sudden realizing that there wasn't a platform out there in print that actually spoke to these women with issues that were really relating to them and their business and what they're going through on a daily basis. So being a creative, I knew that design had to come in somehow. And I can't remember where the idea came. I think it just came like that. It's like, why don't I do a magazine? And then obviously I looked into it a little bit and realized that there were, lots of publications out there business-wise, but nothing that really catered for the small business owner, and nothing that, there's plenty of publications out there where reading about Richard Branson and how he's made his million, it's very inspiring, but it's not relatable. So I wanted to create something that was relatable. And to be honest, something that I thought that I would want to read as a business owner, because I'm not an expert in everything. And I wish that there had been a publication like this 20 years ago to help me with my business, give me tips and advice. And that's kind of how it came about.
Yeah, and it's beautiful. For anybody that's looking at getting the magazine, it's a monthly subscription now. You've come so far with it in such a short amount of time. If there was one lesson that you wanted to, that you've learned, that you want other entrepreneurs to know about, what would it be?
I think for me, and because it always has to sort of relate to you, for me it would be to just follow your instinct in a lot of ways. It's, for me, that's been the conducting line in all the wild adventures and journeys that I've gone through in my life, was to follow an instinct. Usually my instincts is right, and so I'm sure yours will be too. Follow your instinct, do your research, and follow where your passion leads, and educate yourself in finance.
Oh, nice.
If I'm a creative, I don't come from a financial background, so learning how to conduct a business in a financial way has been, I've had to learn, and I've had to teach myself and educate myself on that subject. So if it's not your strong points, make sure you understand how all that works, so that you can be creative on the other side and successful.
What's your favorite piece of business software?
Oh, I've got lots of softwares that I absolutely love. On the photography side, I use Lightroom. It's been my baby for many years. For the magazine, I have to say that Canva has been a savior for me. Yep. I'm not a graphic designer by trade, so there's softwares that most magazine would be using that I don't. So Canva has been a lifesaver, and I think it's opened up so much opportunity for small business owners to be out there and be creative. So I think Canva would be a great one. And then I'm also discovering a new software called Kartra. Which is a sort of all-in-one solution where you can have your website, you can do your online courses, all your sales funnels, and I think I'm slowly falling in love with that one, and I might be moving my business onto Kartra very soon. Yeah,
that's very exciting. I love those all-in-one systems where you can put everything together. It is business changing, as I call it. But yeah, that's a really good list of software. Thank you.
It is, yeah. I'm a bit of a geek, so I've got quite a few, but this 3 would be my top one at the moment.
Brilliant. Olivia, thank you so much for being involved in the Shine Your Crazy Daisy book, Volume 4, and in the podcast.
Yeah, thank you. I can't wait for it to come out and to read all the other stories of that book. But no, thank you to you for that wonderful initiative. I think it's fantastic, and I wonder how many more issues there's going to be. It's ongoing.
No one knows. Thank you.
Thank you, Trudy.
Thank you for watching. If you like what you saw, please like the video and click the subscribe button for this channel for more inspiration. If you're a businesswoman looking for that community that will support you and lift you up, come and join the Shine On You Crazy Daisy membership, offering online networking, co-working, collaboration and monthly masterclasses to grow your knowledge. Go to thedaisychaingroup.com for more information. And for even more inspiration, please go to the link under the video and get your copy of the Shine On You Crazy Daisy series of books with inspirational and motivating stories from businesswomen around the world.